Welcome back to the Tuesday English Talk here, and I'm so glad that this morning we can see again, even though it's only virtually. And before we start the meeting, I would like to welcome you all, including all the native speakers here, Mr. Aldous Jeffrey, John James, Medhai, Tossibly, Daniel Kersi, and then Pak Raf Sobel. So, before we start our meeting today, let's start by praying together. Okay? Uh, Hopefully, the meeting will be run successfully. Pray, begin. Finish. And the next agenda is the welcoming speech that will be delivered by Didi. The floor is yours, Pak.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and I'm so happy today because we have a lot of native speakers joining this program, even though the teachers are limited because some of the teachers are still supervising the examination at school, so they cannot join us. But hopefully, to next letter, they will be here with you all, and we'll discuss the next chapter. So today we are going to talk about chapter 85, Gerak Sale Revelation. Thank you so much, Pak Sibli, for the audio you always send us every week. It's matter a lot to us here, and the story also incredible. Hopefully that the teachers use this audio to study English, and sometimes I think the audio is there to the student also, so they have experience to listen to you as native speakers. And for your information, everyone, that's Thursday English Talk will be off next week due to holiday. So we'll meet you 2 weeks later. And for your next information, that we will come back possibly to Yogyakarta in the 1st of November 2023. And then hopefully we will have English meeting with the teachers, and hopefully it will be fun. And thank you, Pak Sibli, for always coming here. And yeah, that's all, everyone. Thank you so much for your participation, and then see you in the pre-course room. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak Didi Wiono, for your welcoming speech. And then the next speech will be delivered by Pak Subandrio. That is motivational speech. Pak Subandrio, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bu Retno. I have okay, I prepared this quote. So I like Pak Sabto to read the quote, please. Pak Sabto, would you read the quote?
Okay. The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone. But the things you do for others remain as your legacy.
Well, the story is about a student who gave this plans, I forgot the name of the plans, to her teacher, and decades later they met in this garage sales, and it was a wonderful reunion. But actually the girl already forgotten what she gave to her teacher, but her teacher remembers all the time, and that become a legacy. Legacy is a story that is, well, your teachers will be able to help you to get the proper meaning of legacy, but it's a very good. So we will continue to expose ourselves to do things for others, because those are that will remain. as a legacy. Thank you so much, and have a good session.
The time given me. But before that, I want to know how many rooms that we will make. 5 or 4. Pak Matt Hyde, Pak Elder Jeffrey, Pak John, Pak Ralph, Mbak Daniela Garasi. How many rooms we made?
Okay. Okay, welcome back to our main room, everyone. And the next session, it will be the feedback session that will be delivered by each native speaker class. It will be started by Pak Jeffrey. Pak Jeffrey, please. You please deliver some word that you can say from your class.
Well, I was surprised how good of readers that we had tonight. They did very well, and this lesson was quite touching. Again, a few words that were a little bit different, but they all did very well reading, and we talked about the garage sale concept and the love concept that comes through about loving students, love between teachers, and about gifts that teachers receive and give to their students. It was a good time. And Boo Erica is going to report on the class.
For the time given to me. Finally, I joined with Pak Jeffrey class, the thing that I wanted last week. Pak Jeffrey explained very clearly the meaning of the word. Sometimes he gives the meaning in Indonesian to make sure that we understand. And he also concerned about the pronunciation, give example, and we repeat, give the clear, explain how to pronounce some difficult or new words. And he is very patient to us. And in the end of the class, we're sharing about our experience. Each of us tell about the gift or present that we receive or we give to our student. I think the class is very cool. Thank you, Pak Jeffrey.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for Pak Jeffrey and Bu Rustia for the feedback. And then the next feedback will be delivered by Pak John. Pak John, please say something about your class, please. The time is yours.
We had a great class. People that know I missed you. We had a great class. We had a great class. This is a fun story. It was very short, so we got through it really quickly. And then we were able to just talk in English, to just practice our English for a little while, which is always valuable. I've asked Bu Atun if she would please give some feedback from our class. Bu Atun? I don't know if she realized I was asking her because we got cut off and threw back into this room when I was in the middle of asking her. And I don't know if I got it completely out when they cut us off and threw us back in this room.
Yeah.
But Bu Atun, that's what I was saying to you. When
Okay, Pak John, thank you.
off.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Pak John. I was in Pak John class with Pak Didi, Bu Ika, and Bu Fatma, and it was so amazing. We learned some difficult vocabularies like rummaging, peruse, all, atonement, and vision daily, and so on. And we also talk about lamb's ear. This is a plant that like lamb's ear, and I give pick the picture. And then we also talk about imagine that we have a carrot sale in our house, but in Indonesia we don't have a
carrot sale, right? We have just Keliti and market. We imagine when we have a carrot sale, what will we sell? And Pak John also explained to us that there is a difference between cupboard and closet, right? In Indonesia, Pak John, honestly, I often use cupboard in everyday's conversation as the place of clothes. and now I've already known that there is a difference between cupboard and closet. And from the story, we can infer that the small thing that we have done to someone's life, it will be affected on her or his life too. Okay, thank you, Pak John.
Thank you, Bu Atun. I appreciate your help.
Okay, so much. Thank you so much for Pak John and also Bu Atun for the feedback. And Pak John, I will be in your class next week. Okay, see you next week, Pak John.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Right. And the next feedback will be delivered by Pak Medhide. I joined Pak Medhide class today. So Pak Medhide, please give some word about our class today.
We had a lot of good readers, a lot of good pronunciation, had a peculiar word. Learning to say peculiar is kind of a tough word to say, but we had a good discussion on the influence or the legacy that teachers have on their students. And I've asked Bu Retno to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I don't remember that I'm the MC today, so I will be a lot of talking. So maybe I will give a chance to Mas Toma Cruz, because he also joined our class today. Is that okay, Pak Mas?
All right, Toma.
Okay, Toma, please
Well,
say
actually,
about our class.
I did 2 weeks ago, but if other baby wants to say something, it's okay. But if not, I can do it anyway.
Go ahead.
All right, sweet. I'm very grateful to be honest to know this program. I mean, I was introduced by Pak Subandrio, and this is the second time I joining in this class. So in the class we learn specifically about definition of the words that we have not heard yet, and we also learn how to pronounce specifically peculiar. That is the hard and toughest one. And we also learn we also share each other about our experience with the small things that makes a big difference, like that I learned from Brother Matt earlier, that he had a teacher that influenced her, that he was like help him to be like diligent, and also to be like he's not that very soft, but very being good example to teach him thing that he should know, that something like that. And I love the story, and also other classmates that have shared something about their experience to be inspired by their lecture, like Sister Retno also say about her lecture earlier. And we learned that we have to regularly be example to plan or spread small things, so that someday eventually we have bring lights or good example, big difference to others. That's all that I can share. Maybe there's something else with others. Thank you. I turn the time to Sister Retno. Thank you.
Well, it's interesting that what Thomas, I taught Thomas' grandmother back in 1974, his grandpa and grandma. That's how long ago. And they had a big influence on my life.
Thank you so much. And without you, maybe I'm not exist.
Wow.
You are my legacy.
You are.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for Matt Hyde and also Mas Toma for the feedback. That was very interesting class, and our class come alive because we have you, Mas Toma. So hopefully you can join us again next week. Okay. Thank you so much for the feedback. And the next feedback will be delivered by Pak Ralph Sobel. Pak Ralph, the
Thank
time is
you.
yours.
We had 4 in our class from Indonesia on the teachers that are learning, and they did very well. I'm not going to share the pictures with you that we shared with them because we shared those at the beginning with all of you. And I promised, we did talk a little bit. We had to hurry to finish the story because we had so much good discussion. And we did talk about the quote at the very beginning of the story. We talked about quotes. And I promised that I would send you a link, so it's going to be in chat. And that will be 100 quotes that I translated. And the one that's in the story that we read today is not in the link that I'm sending you. So hopefully you can see it. I just hit the chat button, but I can't see it there. So I'm going to have to copy it and send it again. And so I will do that while we have 2 that will give a review of our class. I need them to unmute so that we can hear them. First, we'll hear from Daniela, who is a native English speaker. And then we will hear from Bu Sringsi, who will tell us what she learned in the class. So please unmute and tell us about your experience. Daniela.
Well, it was so nice to sit in and get to know those 4 people so much better. We got to read the story, and we got to talk about a popular phrase in the United States, which is, what you sow is what you reap, or what you reap is what you sow. So what you put into the ground, whether it is good or bad, is what will give back, whether it is good or bad. And then we got to talk more about important words and like peculiar and atonement. And it was great to get to hear how everyone was so clear when they read. And they really did such a good job of enunciating and bringing out those hard words.
Thank you. Bu Sringsi, please.
Okay, thank you for the time given to me. I'm very exciting and it's a lab class and Nona, Daniel, Gareth. We have done many new like Beijing and then Gareth Shell and Mr. Clark have such and explain about the Gareth cells. So I know the example of Gareth cells. And then explain about lens ears. And then there are many new vocabulary like cherry, and then peculiar, and then routine. And then we have learned about the code. What you write is you sow. Like apa yang kamu tanam itu yang akan kamu tuai in Indonesia. And then itu prince, and then hand off, cottage, the item complex, and many new vocabulary. I can say one by one. Mr. Clark has explained very clearly and the meaning of the difficult word that I have, and then he taught me how to pronounce well. And Miss Daniel taught me to how to pronounce well. There are many difficult words that I have, and he and she correct me very well. Thank you, Mr. Rob and Nona Daniel. Thank you.
Kami mempersilakan.
Okay, terima kasih banyak untuk Pak Ralph. Alright, thank you Pak Ralph and also Bu Sri and also Mbak Daniel. Nice to see you here. Hopefully you can join us again next week. And that's all the feedback session, Bu Vija.
Now, next week, we won't have a class, the week after.
Yes,
Oh,
Pak
yeah,
Matt,
sorry.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks later, 5
next
of
week.
October.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's all the native speakers that we have today, right, Pak Didi? So the next session will be handled by Pak Didi and also Bu Vida. There is photo session. The time is yours, Pak Didi and Bu Vida. We're waiting for the photo session.
Okay, thank you so much, Mbak.
You're welcome.
This is the most important session that I always wait in every activities in Zoom. So please, everyone, makes a sign like lamb's ear. Lamb's ear. Okay, I will count it. 1, 2, 3.
So this is the end of the session. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for my fellow English teachers and also all the native speakers. Pak Jeffrey, Mbak Daniela, Pak John James, Pak Medhard, Pak Ralph Zobel, Mas Soma Cruz, and the other teachers that you are very great today. We have a great time. And that's all the meeting. Thank you so much for your coming. And good evening for good night for the native speakers and good afternoon for the teachers. Thank you and see you next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
See you.
Yeah.